Yo, welcome to the van tour. Yo, welcome back. I finally organised myself enough to do a van tour video, cleaned it, organised it, spoke to my mate to use his unit. Cheers, Reece. So I'll run through. It's a Ford Transit Custom Limited. It is metallic grey. A few things that I've changed on it, we'll get a lot of questions. So we'll start with the grille. It's an aftermarket grille, brought it on eBay, 200 quid. I'll put a link below. Same thing with the splitter, put the splitter on, and same with the wheels as well. I wanted to express it a little bit more. I wanted to make it look a bit different from a standard one. With that as well, it's the first time I've got a nice looking van. It's, I've modded it up a little bit to fit my personality. It's special, it stands out. A few other things I've added. So on the top, we've got the Rhino roof rack, and I've actually sprayed that matte black, and I've actually chopped 6 inches off each end as well, so it makes it a bit more narrow on the roof. The Rhino tube itself is going to get wrapped matte black as well. It's sort of the theme I'm going for here, as you can tell. But all in all, it's an awesome van. I absolutely love it. It's organised, it looks nice, it's got heated seats, but obviously I'll run through that in a minute. Right, I'll do a little B-roll now so you can enjoy a few more close-ups rather than me standing here waffling. Right, so inside the cab, we've got a really nice DAB radio with touchscreen. It's got Apple CarPlay, which is beautiful for me. So plug it in, obviously all my text messages, phone calls, all answered through there. Lovely, lovely, lovely feature. Heated seats, which is an absolute blessing sometimes. And then to top it all off, I've also got aircon, reversing sensors and all that sort of stuff. So try and keep it as clean as possible with the amount of Mackies that we have. Move across, got the van bag. This is a Velocity van bag that I got sent beginning of this year. It's used loads and loads and loads. So we've got all our books, stickers, stuff with fuse boards in there, iPad, I keep my GoPro there. Bought this little vaporizer the other day. So with this is an Airwick one. So it's in the van, and I keep it here because it stops out the smell of Adam every now and then. There we go, it's on now. I think it works a bit too well. Right, let's have a look in the back. Right, so now you've seen the front, let's run through the back. I want to put a few pointers out there that I've sort of taught myself over the years with having 3 different vans, all racked out differently with different van vaults, different security devices. So I finally come to owning a van to put it exactly the way I've wanted over the time that I've learned of how to use a van, where things are accessible. Because my old vans, I would end up storing a lot of stuff in the middle, couldn't climb in, couldn't access stuff, would spend sometimes 2 hours trying to find one screw that I knew I had in the van. It's just time wasted on jobs. So this is the reason I explained in my other video about having the raised floor in the van vaults at the back rather than in the centre. Well, my previous van was at the front because I ended up dumping stuff in front of them all the time, which you can see with the tool bags in a little bit. So with having the 2 van vaults at the back, it means obviously the back doors, I'm limited if I have to reverse up to a parking spot where I can't open the doors, but I would say that's never happened so far. I've owned the van nearly 2 months, so we're all right with that. But because these are long slide as well, I've managed to put all the power tools in one and I have all the hand tools in the other. I'll open them up in a little bit. But the purpose of this, I wanted a floor. I wanted something that I don't want to have to climb in. I can access everything through arm's reach. It's accessible. So I'll start with the back doors. So back doors, I ply lined the back. My van didn't come ply lined at all. So I thought, I tied it up. And as you can probably see as well, I've sprayed the whole interior black for no reason whatsoever other than my own vanity and make it look nice, which I think it really does. I think it's striking. I've had that many customers that look at the inside and they go, to see a person that organises their van this well shows off to them that the trader actually in their house will do just as good a job. So it goes hand in hand in tidy van, tidy work, for what they see anyway. Left hand side, your left hand side, my right hand side. I just bought some DIN rails, cut them down. At the moment we've got a lot of fuse box RCBOs on there. I've got a lot of spares which come in handy. Hager ones on the bottom. I have got a big box of spare breakers at home loads of MEM ones, loads of old MK ones, Wilex ones. That is going to be assorted, so I'm probably going to chuck all my fuse box ones up top and then have assorted ones. It's very rare that I need them, and to be fair, being £6 a pop, if I need a Wilex one, if I'm doing EICR or stuff like that, I'll just nip wholesalers. Below that, we've got the big wipes. I've got the big white holes from Screwfix. Recently, it's come in handy because obviously the whole COVID situation, Adam and I are washing our hands a lot. Adam and I, that was natural as usual. We've got them in. I've got a spare one over there. As each job goes, we wipe our hands, and most of the time we go down and wipe customer sides as well and door handles, just so they're happy. Below that, I made myself a little holder for the work mats. These are used a lot more in the summer when Adam and I were wearing shorts all the time, but obviously now we've got ourselves I bought myself some new trousers. We've got some Adam with some knee pads, but they've godsent really. They're from PRS Supplies, so all the stuff I'm saying, I will put a link below and save the questions so you can see all the stuff where I got from. So that's that door. If we jump to this door, so I put a little bit of a teaser in previous videos of just glancing at the van, and loads of people ask me with this. So this is obviously normal earth sleeving, brown, blue, and then the thicker stuff for 6mm, 10mm. All I've literally done is made myself a conduit arm coming out through, and I've had to stick some screws in it because every now and then I'd slam the door and they'd go shooting in the inside. But it's just a really simple, effective way when we just need some sleeving. It's there, accessible. It's not going to get tangled. It won't fall off. You can see where these have got a bit mashed up in my old van. We go below it, the Vera stuff. So you've obviously seen the previous videos of all my Vera stuff. And in my old van, I had it taped. I put a lot of the Velcro to the back bulkhead, which worked well, but equally when we were getting in and out, sometimes you catch it on your arm or it does fall off. But on the back door, so what I've done, Velcro pads, I've stickied it and also screwed it to the back of the wood. In here, Adam and I's walkie-talkies, and I think we've got the Tool Check Plus as well. So I'm trying to keep the stuff that I use most often accessible, because it's pointless if I start burying this in. I don't want it expensive, I don't want to get them damaged. Equally, when I need to charge them at night, I can easily just grab these out the back of the van. Next is the long screwdriver set. I don't really use these. Every now and then you need them on a job. I wouldn't carry these around in and out of every job because it's just pointless with the weight. So that's on the back door. Most of the time it's just a flathead, a 5.5 or a long posi that I need. Obviously they're not insulated screwdrivers, so be careful with them. Same thing, Velcro. I won't run through everything. That's the adaptable screwdriver. That's the small bit set for fire alarm systems, you know, computers and whatnot. Joker spanner set. At the bottom here is just a little variety pack that everything's fallen out of. That was actually the advent calendar that I bought for Christmas, which was cool. And at the bottom, the thing I'm most proud of, Adam's actually folded them up like this because you can see how much mud's on them. But these are all my work mats. So I bought a couple of these holders, which you'll see around the van. These were from, I think B&M or B&Q, I'm not sure. But for my work mats especially, you can see how muddy they've got. So obviously all that mud would have normally been on our knees or on our trainers. These are from PRS Supplies as well on Instagram. But normally once they're clean, I'll get them cleaned up, they get rolled up, they get put in there, and it's just positioned. If they are wet and they are muddy, when the doors are open, it drips down, it only drips onto this. I'm not getting any moisture on any tools or any tool bags, that sort of stuff. Once again, I got these hooks as well. I'll start from the top. This is the Bosch core-in dust collector that you've seen in previous videos as well. I wanted these accessible because I've got the Bosch one, and then I think that's the Aid one that I bought beforehand. So that's for smaller holes, that's bigger holes. I just wanted them up out of the way, not getting damaged, because at the moment you start damaging these brushes, the whole thing becomes pointless, or damaging the rim, then you won't get the suction. Got a Unilight head torch. Then we've got the hook. So we've got the Velocity Pro Pack, I think the TP3B, I think. So I got this from Loadout Shop. This is designed for me to go and do EICRs. We're doing them all the time at the moment. I've got my key stuff in there. Tape measure sits on the front. Not that it's ever needed for EICRs, it's just a clippable area. Unilight safety glasses, some tape on that, continuity tester, PPE, we've got ear defenders, we've got our masks, we've got our whisker gel I used in the previous job, our Bosch core set, hole saw set. Right, so Van Volt slider. So you can see how long it is and how much stuff we get in it. This needs to be reorganised. I have ordered the dividers to go in for the battery sections, for SDS drills. I'm carrying too much stuff in it the other day because I worked at a friend's house, did some carpentry, so I put my 18-volt mite saw in it, like jigsaw. It's stuff like this I don't need to carry, but for the moment, the last job, it's just got dumped in there. I should have really organised this for presentation, but This is real world stuff. It's what happens. But you can see there's a hell of a lot of stuff in there, and also I've got my long drill bits. I'm actually getting some gutter in, and I'm going to put some gutter in there to lay that in there and put some rubber matting in, because the rubber matting obviously stops the rattling. But you can see how much we can get in there. Equally, what I like about the sliders from my previous big draw ones, the deep ones, these ones allow me to put away all of my hand tools. So we've got my testing kit, which can easily be accessible. Because of the Vera bags, or they open like this, if I just want to get something out quickly, I don't have to take the whole bag out. But they all fit nice and snug. And then we've got my normal toolkit, which you've all seen loads of times. And then we've got the Bosch, the Brother label printer. Obviously this itself is worth, when I bought it anyway, Muggins over here, bought it for 200 quid when they first come out. And they're not that much anymore, but it's almost a break in my van in the day during working hours. And this is sat on the side, I don't want it going missing. So at least in here I can lock it safe. But to have my most valuable possessions locked away in the back door at night time, it's driven up to a brick wall. I'm very comfortable that that is secure. I've had deadlocks fitted to all the back of the van, the internal deadlocks here and at the back, as well as the sliding door. I've got an alarm system, which I won't show you. And then on top of that, I've also got the GPS tracker fitted to my van, so I can physically, through my app, kill the engine and no one can start it, even if they had the keys. So as much as a lot of people say you shouldn't be showing van tours because you're showing thieves what's in the van, I'm quite comfortable that everything's safe, secure. So metal trim across the front. It has gone a bit rusty because I haven't treated it yet. It was raining the other day when I was doing a video. I got the rubber mat off Amazon. This is actually off my old van because from a previous video, this hadn't arrived in time. So I ripped this out of my old one and the new one turned up in the front. So down here I had a big empty space that I knew I wanted to fill with stuff, but wasn't quite sure. So it works out really well. So you can see up top there, I've got two small stackers, but down here are the ones that we would use less. So we've got nails, that sort of stuff, long pins and fuses, which is sort of a bit excessive for what it is, but that's that. Bending springs, longer drill bits. I think Ad shoved them in the other day. We've got a few spirit levels in there. And this is just sort of stock. So we've got a few downlights floating around, the JCC V50s, and then even further, just about reach, silicons, cable ties, just a few surface mattresses, just sort of stuff that I want to keep on the van as spares, as stock that I need as and when, but it doesn't need to be greatly accessible. Right, so leading on from that, you all know I'm a massive fan of Stanley Stackers. Massive fan, as you can see. I got absolutely sick to death when we did the van sort video. They were about this high off the floor, plus the 4 of these on top. I wanted a system where I can access them, where they're all labelled up. I know exactly what's what. I know, oh, I need some Wago boxes. Oh, I need some storm glands. Oh, I need some black conduit, 20mm, black white conduit. Everything's there. It's all labelled up. It's easily accessible. But I've tried to organise it. The stuff I use the most is put to the back of the van. Either way, you know, I can put one knee on the back. I can access anything. So if we go for, let's go for the Wago boxes. So this is the only one on this side that I've, bottom left, I've put down for the 2 slimline stackers, because these 2 are the lot of stuff we use the most. Flexi cable clips, all labelled up what's what. It's just make your life easier. The stuff you use the most, put it nearest the doors. Once again, I sprayed that all in matte black just to blend in. It took me a good couple of hours to build it, but it's well worth it. And that frees all this other space up for me to actually get in, put some stuff. Bosch bag, got 2 Bosch bags. Obviously, when we're going into jobs, what we're going to be doing with that is just be filling up what we need, either material-wise or power tools. So we just fill that up, bring them in together, come back to the van, put the stuff back together. We're trying to keep a system where we're being as neat as possible and efficient. Struggle sometimes, especially when it's hammering it down, stuff gets chucked in, but it gets sorted out the weekend. This side, so we've got little Chris, which you all know. I think Chris is quite famous now. Little pair of steps. These were a godsend. I'm so glad I bought these because I use them that much. Being over 6 foot, we can touch most ceilings, and it's not necessary to get a hop up or to get the bigger steps in because we're tall enough, but just those 1 extra 2 steps is great. So they normally rest across the back. I've just bought some hooks as well, so I can actually stand them up and they'll hook on here. Right, so up top, I have got a few more things to organise. I've got a few of the big boxes. So let's see what's in box number 1. So this is this is a bit of everything. just bought some of these recently. These need to be transferred across into a few of the stackers. We've got the ideal RJ45 kit, and there's some light bulbs and some hooks. So this is the stuff that I bought for a job that I'm still yet waiting to use. KMF switch. It's all for a few EICRs recently, and they need to be returned. So this is the box at the back where it's, or we'll put it there for now, yet to be organised. But I much prefer it in a box with a lid, because if we ever go over any bumps, everything's going to stay in its place. We've got one of the Gwis adaptable boxes that I've had spare in the van, but equally that sits on there. It's been there for a couple of weeks, it's not moved. Another big box there, a lot of manual surface mattresses, doubles and singles. We do a lot of conduit work, maybe a bit of flexicon, maybe sometimes. Extension lead, got a 24-inch core there. I have actually got the core set box to go in here because this is purpose built, so that will actually slide up here, that will fit in there, and then two empty stackers in there. Because I've started using a lot of these, I've got about 50 of these spare floating around at home. Back to the drawers. So this is the only racking that came out of my original van. Cut the bottom off because I've got the false floor, so this comes in so well when we're doing, not for rewires, not for big jobs, but for bits when you do call outs or doing the, I say, oh, I need a switch, I need a socket, I need a new light, that sort of stuff. So at the bottom we have those are light switches, one gangs, pull cords, just stuff we've had off extra from jobs when we've done a rewire. We've got a few materials left. They go in there. Got the mattresses, singles, doubles, surface, fast fix, all that sort of stuff. No system to it, just we need one every now and then. It's in there. Same thing with the pendants, transformers, got a bit of ducting in there. This could be neater and tidier, but most of the time if I'm doing rewires or bigger jobs, the new stock is ordered in and this is just kept spare as and when. Sockets and spurs, same sort of thing. Every now and then I just buy a box of 10, keep it in the van. Better to have more stock than be caught out. In here, a few of these boxes are a bit damaged now, to be fair. There's all my whisker stuff. So I swear by the whisker glands. Their hood's lighting. They've sent a few of the whisker spikes. These are graded versions, smaller ones. So that's that. Kinetic switches. So you know I'm a fan of these. So we've got some of the MK. We've got some of the NJ ones. The Kinetic range from TLC. The grids. So once again, I don't keep a lot of stock of that in the van because it is expensive. It's sort of ordered as and when for the jobs, but it's good to have one or two extra ones. I already run through these. These are just spare breakers that are floating around at the moment. Brushes, a few empty boxes. So these are the sockets. So you would have seen these in a few previous videos. These are the shields that we put on once we've done first fix, either on a kitchen or a house rewire. These will then clip over the mattresses. The sockets will screw to it, so the plasterer, the mulch spreader, can actually get a nice finish on it without ruining all our stuff and then blaming us for it. So there go their sockets. Obviously extension lead, and then the one down here is just got the Dade, some dust sheet, the plastic dust sheets and some pens. That's just been thrown in recently, but that's sort of the back of the van. Right, so up top, I've learnt my lesson from previous vans, not put it on a pole, because it was a great idea if you want to pull a couple of meters off, like the earthing and the sleeving at the back, but no good if you want to take the whole drum in. So I made a top shelf, it's up out of the way. I've learnt my lesson not to put it on the bottom shelf because everything gets piled on top of each other, you can't access it. So start from the top, all the drums are cable. I have, really sadly, put loads of LEDs in the shelves as well, just to light it up. Then we've got some more stackers, fuse box stuff, screws, stuffing glands, ideal connectors, DIN rail connectors, quick wire connectors, all that sort of stuff as accessible as possible to make life quick and easier. Below we've got two of the 18-volt hoovers, my charging rack that I made for Bosch for charging 4 batteries, ladders that slide in and don't rattle. This that's going in the bin soon. I'm going to get one of the new floor plated ones that will spin. We've got Adam's testing bag. We've got the Power Oak power bank that obviously you've seen on videos as well. When we do rewires or fuse board changes, we can still power the house up, still have Wi-Fi, still boil a kettle, that sort of stuff. My big XL bag that has rusty tools in it now, so that's all my sort of first fix tools. Stuff doesn't get used very often, all the big lumpy stuff. Got armoured slice in here and some drill bits. Adam's bag, and then if I just move out of the way I'm in, behind that we have the floor tape, and as well as the Bosch stripper pole, I mean the laser pole, that needs to be accessible as best as possible. On the roof, what better way to keep the uni lights unmagneted? The roof's got two of the smaller ones, two of the bigger ones, the big boy ones. We've got a couple of them in this bag as well. Accessible just as and when, nice and quick. I've got the VDE screwdriver changeable bit set from Vera, and then also the ratchet set, which you've seen before as well. So nice, quick, easy, out the way of everything else. And sort of the last thing in the van here is my IKEA cupboard space. So this was white, it was sprayed matte black, as you can probably see the white coming through. So this is, we were bought it originally for my daughter's bedroom wall. Once I started putting it together, I just saw massive use. I was going to put rack in here, I was going to ply line this and use it, because I don't really need to use a 3 meter lift up pole route, because I've got a rhino tube. So this is literally just individual sliders. Got all my hole saws, smaller CK hole saws. That's all for my downlights. I don't use the Bosch ones for downlights. That's for wood mainly, or metal. Literally goes in and just put a washer on that, slide it down. Simple but effective. That's my locking off kit and my laser. So there, it's get used all the time, need nice accessible. We've got ferrule crimps, we've got drill bits together. I've put the rubber matting at the bottom of all of them as well, just to stop stuff sliding and slipping as much as possible. And then I won't get them all out. That's more drill bits. That is batteries, AA batteries, AAA batteries, 9-volt batteries. And then at the top here, tape, all-round band, earth tags, and on top of it, that doesn't really go with it, my multi-tool blades. So it's still, even now, where I'm 99% sure I'm happy with everything, there's still stuff to improve on. But that is the best thing I say about the wooden racking. You get the Bot Smart, you get the Sortimo racking, it costs thousands, and I know it does, and it looks really good, and I know that, but equally, I've made it out of wood, I've sprayed it black, I think it looks great, I can put some lights on it, if I don't like it, I can unscrew it, I can put holes in it, I can do whatever I want to it, and rip it out, and it's not cost me a third, if not even that, a quarter of the Sortimo stuff. So that's the reason I went for wood, because I can chop and change, and I do chop and change quite a lot. So yeah. Right, so that concludes the van tour. I hope you all enjoyed it. A bit of an insight to see how we carry things, why we carry things, you know, how I organise stuff, how it can sort of improve my quality of work and time I spend at work to get home to my loved ones. There's loads more videos to come. I'm still trying to do 2 a week. So I'd appreciate if you like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.